It's August 1st, 2023, and I'm back in the garden again. I have my lapel mic. Hopefully that helps to deal with the noise from the highway behind me. So about a month ago, I tried to make a video, but I ended up scrapping it. I might actually use some of that footage in this video to show you what it looked like then as opposed to now, because back then I didn't have a lot of hope for the garden. It was looking pretty bad because critters had gotten in here and eaten a lot of the plants. I really didn't think I was gonna be able to salvage anything. But I ended up going into the shed and I found a bottle of liquid Thanx. I've used this in the past, but I didn't have very good results. I have to say that the problems I've had with deer and rabbits eating things in the garden this year has been the worst. I've had it a little bit here or there, but never as much as this year. And I really wasn't too sure if I should try to use something because I just didn't have good results. But I decided, since I had this bottle, I might as well just go for it. So I saturated the garden 2 or 3 days in a row with this stuff. And then after every rainstorm, I went in and saturated again. I pretty much used up the bottle in a matter of maybe 2 weeks. And this stuff is $15 a bottle right now, so it's fairly expensive. But what I did in the past was I sprayed the garden once a month with it, and I just didn't have really good results. So I was thinking, the more I use, maybe the better results I'll have. And the plant started to come back. The plant started to come back so much that I decided I should get some more of this. But what I decided to do was go from the liquid form to the powdered form. This is a 5-pound jug of liquid Thanx deer and rabbit in powdered form. When you get it, there's a seal underneath this lid. It looks just like a salt shaker, like a 12-pound salt shaker for rock salt for your driveway in the winter. And if I can unscrew this cap, you see it's granulated, but it's really powdery. So I decided to go ahead and spread that stuff on the garden. Now, the liquid Thanx smells like a combination of urine and rotting vegetables. And the reason I know what rotting vegetables smell like is that I've composted a bunch of rotting vegetables. As a matter of fact, underneath this dirt right here are a couple 5-gallon buckets of vegetables and coffee grounds and things like that. As you can see, the bumblebee going around here. So let me go ahead and start in this corner of the garden. The strawberry plants that ended up over here have gotten bigger. They're not bearing any fruit, but they're doing pretty well. I pretty much cut all the tops off this green onion plant and everything's grown back. It's even made seeds. And over here you can see there's a purple bell pepper. You can see some of these ends are just chewed up. This whole thing was chewed up. You see all the powder I put on top of there. I just went nuts with this liquid Thanx powder. But it's coming back. You can see it's got a little flower on there and it's got little buds, so it's coming back. To my surprise, this section over here that I was gonna go ahead and build up, I started on it last year, a potato plant has come up. And I decided to go ahead and move a strawberry plant over here just to see what it would do. The mint has taken off. It's supposed to repel deer, but it really isn't. The carrots, I haven't pulled any of these yet, but they seem to be doing well. There's a bare spot in the back, but otherwise that's doing really good. The chicken wire seems to help. So what I plan to do is add more chicken wire next year. Over here, here's the other purple bell. This one actually made a small bell pepper, and my director decided it was time to pull it and use it before a critter got to it. Purple bell over here is doing really good. It's only made one piece of fruit, but it hasn't been eaten yet. So hopefully this bears a little bit more fruit. Here's the chives. They're just getting bigger and bigger. The Cubanelle is turning red. Now, I looked at some Cubanelles at the grocery store and they were green, but the picture here from Bonnie Plants shows it a bright red. So I don't know if I should leave it on there longer or not. Here's what the Cubanelles at the grocery store look like. And then this is a candy cane pepper. You can see it's got 2 fruits on it. Still need to get bigger and turn colors. Hopefully this gets taller and grows up into the hoop. Over here, this Mardi Gras Fun Red sweet pepper, it's actually got a couple little peppers on there. I didn't think it was going to do anything. It just didn't get big. And over here, where I threw a bunch of cilantro seeds, there's a little bit of cilantro coming up. I had to weed in here a couple times. I did neglect the garden for about 2 weeks, and then I started putting work into it. And while I was weeding, I noticed that there was some cilantro coming up. So we might get that late this year. So over on this side, the red onions are, well, they're coming up tall and making seeds, but they're probably not that big. You can see there's a small one. That one needs to get reburied. These need more time. Might not even be able to get anything this year, but maybe they'll come up bigger next year. I think I'll get some more raised garden soil and put it in here. Some green onions got mixed in there. I decided to transplant a raspberry plant over here just to see what it would do. This spot is bare. So I took some green onion seed and spread it in here, and I just covered it with dirt. Some of these green onions, I cut the tops off of them because I was spray painting part of the lattice there, and I got some overspray, so I just cut the tops off of them. They're already growing back. We've harvested a few green onions for dinner, and they just keep coming back. These are very easy to grow. Now from the second batch of green bean seeds I planted, this one is the best. You see it's covered in that dust. That's just to keep the critters off of it. I'm pretty sure this is a weed. I'll give it a little bit more time and then I'll pull it. But you see it's growing up the lattice. There's a few other green bean plants that are doing okay. The Better Bell 4 sweet pepper got chewed up, but it's slowly coming back. And you can see here, this is the hot banana pepper. I didn't think this would get chewed up, but you can see the ends are chewed right off of this, but it's coming back. So I'm somewhat hopeful for it. The mild banana pepper, I can understand why they'd chew this up. See, this is a much smaller plant, but it's coming back too. So I think as long as I keep putting stuff in the garden to get the critters to stay out, there's a chance. Over here, the green beans just really haven't done a whole lot. You can see right here, there's some growing, but there's a tomato plant growing, but they haven't really done a whole lot. And in here, these, I believe they were grape or cherry tomatoes, down in there, you can see a few red ones. I'm going to go ahead and pull them. No, there's some green in there. I don't want to pull those. There we go. So the cherry tomatoes have taken a long time, but you can see it's making a lot of fruit. It's just got to turn red. Over here, we've got, I believe this is another Cubanelle. And these are about as green as the ones at the grocery store. And it's growing up and up. So hopefully it fills the hoop. And then in here, I believe these are those cardinal red bell peppers. I planted seeds and just kind of hope for the best, and didn't see anything at first, but maybe I'll get one plant out of it. This green bell pepper's got 3 fruits on it, but they're small, too small to pick. We've got a jalapeno here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 peppers on it, but I've got jalapenos in the house, so I don't know that I'm going to pick any of these. Maybe later this week I will. See if I can route some of this through the hoop, get it a little higher up. And here is the lonely red bell pepper plant that I thought wasn't going to make it. It finally got a hoop last week. It's got a little fruit on it. It really came back all on its own. And the strawberries I planted in here are doing okay, but they're not bearing any fruit. And there's even a green onion. Over here is something interesting. I broke this off of the cherry tomato plant when I was trying to route more of the stalks through the top of the hoop, and I just stuck it in the ground and planted it, and I've been watering it. Not only is it growing, but there's a little tomato on it, so who knows what it'll do. Just a little experiment. Here's a yellow bell pepper plant, and it's got a fruit on it. It's green, it hasn't turned yellow. I'm going to try to give it some more time. This liquid fence here should just rinse right off. We'll wash the vegetables really good before we eat them. This is the lunchbox orange. There's 2 small peppers on there, but they haven't turned orange yet. And then this should be the lunchbox red, I think. No, this is a red bell sweet pepper, and it's got some small green ones on there and some small red ones. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick 2 of them. Here's another stalk off that cherry tomato plant I stuck in the ground, and it's just coming up, making a couple little tomatoes. Over here, I've got a lunchbox red. No fruit yet. It's small, but it's doing okay. I don't remember what this one was, and the tag for it is gone, it's blown away. But these are coming up next to it, and I don't think they're weeds, so maybe I'll end up getting something off of it. The Thai hot pepper is finally making these tiny little red peppers, or the green over here. They're turning red over here. I don't know how big they're supposed to get. The picture really doesn't give any indication, but the potting soil is saturated from all the rain. The other one, yep, it's making some little green peppers there too. So maybe I'll pick these in a week or so and give them a try. This is just a weed. I'm still not really doing anything with this section of the garden. I've done some pruning over here. It looks like a raspberry plant is dying, but I've been watering it. We've picked some raspberries from here. I've done some weeding, but it really doesn't look like it because it just keeps coming back strong. You can see there's some raspberries. But we've already picked some, so we're expecting another crop before the end of the summer. And the prickly pear is still doing good. On this side of the garden, I've got some marigolds coming up from last year. There's a tomato plant. I don't know how that ended up over there. And then I believe that's a Fresno pepper, but it's so small I don't think anything's going to happen with it. Over here, we've got the Cajun bell pepper, and you can see there's 3 little peppers on there. I might sprinkle this with a little bit more of that dust, though. There's some raspberries. They've just sort of grown through the fence and just taken over. Over here, I can't remember what pepper plant this is. Oh, nope, there's still a tag. This is a red bell pepper, and this one is coming up pretty good. You can see where it was chewed away at, but it's coming back. It's not bearing any fruit yet. And I do believe this is a Fresno pepper plant, and those 2 down there might be as well. And you can see all the powder I put down here. So let me just spread a little bit more of this. Can't hurt. Hopefully this keeps the critters away and I can get some sort of harvest out of here. But this is a lot better results than I was expecting for this time of the year based on the way the garden started. The weather just hasn't been cooperating. It's in the 80s, almost 90 one day, and then in the low 70s the next. It's sunny and dry one day, and then the next day it's thunderstorms. So it really just hasn't been good weather. Plus the Canadian smoke has kind of blocked out the sun. All I can do is just keep trying, and hopefully I've got some results to show in the next video. I know this one's been kind of long, but there's a lot to report. Thanks for watching.